All right, everybody, welcome back. Moonshine Circle, Moonshine Circle, Moonshine Circle. Today, we're talking about the crystal skulls. Why do we collect them? What do they symbolize? We're going to get into it. The myths, the legends. There are a lot of legends and myths on crystal skulls, significantly or more notably the 13 crystal skulls that everyone talks about, which supposedly have been rumored to be a myth. And it was said that they were examined and they found man-made tools on some of these, but the fact are that they have found ancient crystal skulls. A lot of people look at skulls as a symbol of death, or they associate skulls with scary movies, Halloween, spooky things. In reality, what the skull represents is consciousness. You use your skull your whole life. So people think that it signifies death, but to the true shamans, we know that these are the storehouses of our brain. Our brain literally holds our whole nervous system down to our spine, and we use it our whole lives. Without a skull, your brain would basically be exposed or vulnerable to any type of influence that could damage it. So I want to shift the narrative, and the crystal skull consciousness itself wants people to know that these are tools, shamanic healing tools that the ancient people knew well of. It doesn't matter the myths or the legends, there are ancient crystal skulls, but the fact remains that quartz crystal by itself is a conduit of electric energy and piezoelectric energy, meaning if you hold it, if you apply pressure and heat, it creates an electric charge or current that the human body can also absorb and use for healing, use for all kind of things. So off rip, the quartz crystal is in every single electronic. You need the quartz crystal for this phone that I'm recording this on, for the device that you're viewing this on, even your watch. All electronics need quartz crystal to power basically the whole technology. So this is ancient technology itself, but crystals, quartz specifically, is scientifically proven to record data and transmit energy. Data could also mean information, memories, experiences, intentions, energy. So when you put a quartz crystal or any type of mineral with different properties, but specifically the quartz crystals, the original skulls were quartz, you get basically the shape of consciousness. Certain shapes have energetic signatures in nature. We know this to be a fact, like the Fibonacci, sacred geometry, it's everywhere. But when you're working with a crystal skull, basically, psychologically and subconsciously, it's easier for you to connect with the skull or with this stone in the shape of a skull, leading to more enhanced meditations, more enhanced energy absorption through contemplation, or just certain things being reflected or mirrored to you. People think that the crystal skulls are conduits or vessels for entities or energies, which could be true, but in reality, it's just a mirror. It's your consciousness. It's going to, the properties of the stone are going to amplify and reflect your own energy and consciousness back to you, which can be very helpful for healing and going deeper within the self, doing the shadow work, contemplating on certain aspects of yourself and your journey, your transformation, your transmutation. That's exactly what these are as well. They're perfect tools for transmuting negative energy, and it's going to reflect to you anything you're not seeing clearly. So I just want to set the record straight and let people know that the skull is not a bad symbology. It's not an evil, negative symbology, and people need to stop using their skull in a negative way to think this way, especially when they see crystal skulls, not knowing the technology, the power, and the ability that they have as healing tools and tools of meditation and transformation. So here I consider myself a skull keeper. Now, certain people, they connect with the consciousness and the energetic signature of crystal skulls specifically, and there are communities, and I will be making a personal page just for the crystal skulls. I'm going to call it skull castles. So you guys could look out for that. But I consider myself a skull keeper. A skull keeper basically collects a bunch of skulls. You know, some of these were gifts. This one was actually a gift. I named my skulls. This is Cactus Jack. This is Phosphorus, Magmus, Pyroclops. That's Shivaya. And then these two, like, sometimes I don't want to have names for them because they're just infinite. They inform and energy. You know, you can't contain or you can't classify something that's multi-dimensional. So it's all up to you of how you connect with your crystal skulls or just your stones and crystals in general. You know, it's all intentional, but I like to believe that it's all intentional and it is all consciousness. So in reality, the skulls are just reflections of you. There's a bee buzzing in my ear right now. I think he's fucking with the message. I think he likes the message. But yeah, crystal skulls are nothing to fear. They're here to help you clear the air and the atmosphere, transmute despair. You know what I'm saying? So look out for the YouTube channel, Skull Castles on YouTube. This is on Moonshine Circle, but I want to do a lot more content with the crystal skulls. I have over 40 crystal skulls as a skull keeper, and I collect them because sometimes they serve their purpose with me. You know what I mean? They'll call to you energetically. It's not like you. Some people can say they'll talk to them or they hear them talk. Excuse me, but in reality, it's just a vibration or a frequency that you're sensing, and you're receiving a download in your mind. Because as the skulls, your brain, your consciousness is a receiver, depending on what frequency or what radio station, so to say, you're tuned to. So you can use different skulls for different purposes or for different, you know, meditations or different practices. You know, it's all a personal journey. And there's not a lot of information on crystal skulls, which is why I'm making this video. And I feel drawn to make more videos and, you know, share my experience with the skulls and why I'm so drawn to them. You know, people would just automatically assume that it's like some edgy, you know, scary, spooky type of thing, but it's really far more divine than that. And, you know, like I said, I have over 40 skulls. If anyone wants to purchase a crystal skull, basically, like, when you receive a crystal skull from somebody, it could be cleared. You know, I'll use something like Sage or Palo Santo, but you know, it'll already be activated. So you know, it's recorded so much data and healing and, you know, research. A lot of the skulls I have, because like I said, I got over 40. So along the journey, you know, they do pick up a lot, which can be useful. And as you record more data into the skull, it expands. Like the energetic consciousness of the conduit that you're using expands in its frequency and it expands in its essence. So I just wanted to make a quick video about this, man. I'm really just freestyling this video. I didn't really think about what I was gonna say. I just kind of channeled this message, but I'm definitely going to go more in depth. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any crystal skulls, let me know how many skulls you have. Why are you drawn to them? Or what do you use them for? How do you use them? Because like I said, there's not a lot of information on the internet. So all I can do is be authentic and show you guys how I do it, why I do it, and to let you know it's not something to fear, or it's not something that's, you know, should be looked at as and portrayed as this certain negative, evil thing, when in reality it's really a expansive energy of consciousness. So hope you guys like this video, man. Comment down in the comment section, let me know your experience with crystal skulls if you have any, and stay on the lookout for skull castles, man. We're going to expand the crystal skull consciousness and the community.